It is regarded as the greatest art form. It has singing, dancing, music, drama. We're talking about opera, of course. And what better reflection of the human condition than to see talent pouring their hearts out on stage while conjuring up emotion within all of us. Joining us on a fabulous upcoming performance is Harold Mears, Executive Artistic Director for Charleston Opera Theater. It is good to see you, Harold.
Well, thanks for having me. Good to see you again.
Would you say that I've described opera pretty well?
I think so. I think it's a dynamic, visceral, and emotionally high-octane art form, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, opera, a lot of people find it is an art form for the elite, but maybe you can dispel that myth.
Yeah, no, that's one of the big missions of Charleston Opera Theater, is to sort of knock down that barrier. I believe it should be an art form that is accessible to everyone. And I think what people will find is this production we have coming up on May 8th will do just that. It is something that both the opera lover and the novice both will really, really enjoy.
Yeah, so tell us what's coming up on the day before Mother's Day, let's call it.
Okay, yeah, so we are doing a production called The Tragedy of Carmen, and this is an adaptation of Bizet's masterpiece, Carmen. So it worked out really, really well for us as we in this transitional time from being in a pandemic mindset to starting to loosen up a little bit and trying to engage with more performances and more audience. We still are outside, we're still socially distanced, but this production was a great transitional idea to take us into something that's really theatrical and not just a stand and sing. Yeah, so we're doing it like a 1930s radio drama. It streamlines the opera, so it still has all of the music that everybody loves from Carmen, and it still has an orchestra, although it's like a chamber-sized orchestra. It's scored that way, so it limits the number of personnel. It's a much easier thing to present during a time when we still have to take into consideration socially distanced things, and it's going to be super theatrical.
And I think many people do know the opera Carmen. So maybe you can just give us a little bit of a synopsis on what the opera is all about.
Well, it's sort of the classic love triangle, trapezoid kind of scenario. Carmen is this very alluring, seductive gypsy gal that men just can't help themselves. They just fall in love with her. She's dynamic and she's charming, but she's also kind of dangerous.
She's infectious.
Yeah.
But it is something that I think a lot of people can relate to, just human relationships. Mm-hmm. We do need to take a break here, Harold. Right. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you hum a little bit of Carmen, that one piece as we go into commercial? I'll do it with you. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's enough. We'll see you after the break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We've been talking with Harold Mears, Executive Artistic Director for Charleston Opera Theater, and they are going to be performing The Tragedy of Carmen on Saturday. And this is going to be at the Hanahan Amphitheater, a big treat for families to come outside and see and hear some beautiful music and performances. So that's not the only feature that day. Can you tell us what else is cooking on Saturday?
Right. So the performance starts at 7:30. I will kind of lay out how it's going to go. At 6 o'clock, the doors open, and we're going to have food trucks. There's going to be like a beer and wine tent, soft drinks, wine will be available for purchase. So people can come early, set up their chairs, their blankets, however they would like to set up, get something to eat, have a libation. At 7:30, the performance starts, and we have brought in the College of Charleston Opera to do like a little pre-show starting at 7:30, where they're doing excerpts of their recent production of Le Nozze di Figaro. It was very important for me I'm a big fan of paying it forward. And, not just professionals have been, sort of stymied by the pandemic, but the college students haven't had much of a vehicle for performance either. And so I thought this would be a really wonderful opportunity to provide these deserving students with a chance to get up on stage in front of an audience with an orchestra and perform perform their art again. So they'll be doing about 30 minutes. And then that means the Tragedy of Carmen will start somewhere a little bit after 8 o'clock, and it will last about 75, 80 minutes after that.
Okay, great. And Carmen, typically sung in French. Is it all in French, or?
So this is this adaptation is streamlined. So there's no chorus. The characters are boiled down to the four main characters, and those are all singers, opera singers. And then there's 2 additional characters that are spoken actors. So the music is all in French. It will be subtitled. We're covering the event with lots of cameras. There's going to be a giant screen, so you're going to be like you're at a sporting event watching it live, but there'll be subtitles for the French. The dialogue, however, will all be in English. And this format of the radio show has provided the opportunity for a lot of shenanigans. It's going to be, you're going to hear some beautiful music, some really dynamic singing, and it's going to be a lot of fun too. So there's been a lot of dialogue written. Sarah E. Widzer, the director, has brought in a lot of really clever things into this. It's going to be really a lot of fun.
Oh, we're excited to see this. So again, this is going to be taking place on Saturday at the Hanahan Amphitheater. Doors open at 6, and College of Charleston, they're going to be performing some opera as well, also with Yuri Becker from Charleston Symphony Orchestra, which we love. He's a good friend of ours here at Fox 24 News Now, and it's just a great time to get out, see some art, and enjoy being out in the world once again. I know the pandemic hit artists really hard as well, particularly, but as we look to the future, moving ahead, what else is on tap for Charleston Opera Theater?
Right. Well, it's really important for us to keep engaging and keep pushing the bar forward. As you know, we are a newer entity. So our goal and the current goal, we've been working sort of production because of the vastly of the unknowns with what we'd be able to do. But as things are progressing, I'm fairly confident we'll be able to be back in the theater in September. So we're planning a full production. I think it's the 3rd week of September. And so be on the lookout for information and announcements about that. We will be continuing our community concert series, where we'll be going out to HOAs and parks and communities around the country, around the county rather, and providing some outdoor entertainment free for the
bringing art to the masses. Harold, thank you so much for doing that.
Well, it's important,
it is.
Things that our society's really suffered from. We've been sort of overcoming this mindset of isolation and fear and anxiety and the illness, and right now our souls need that. I don't want to call it escapism, but our souls need to be fed, and we desperately need that connection that we get by attending a live event with other audience members around us. You experience the same emotions, and it reminds us of our humanity and our shared human condition, and helps us develop empathy for our fellow man.
That's so true. Harold, here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
We'll be back after this.